This is me inviting you to visit me and watch me live here on Facebook. And as you can see, the link doesn't seem to work. Well, poor Facebook. Boo-hoo. Wah. Crybabies on Facebook. Always getting me down, man. They're always bursting my chill and busting up my vibe. Here I am. I'm finishing up this painting now. This morning I added some wood to the tabletop and darker colored sides. I added some more chair here to go behind the tail. Put some more green in, put legs on the chair. And that should do it. I'm going to subdue this a little bit. Make some separation in there. I'll just use alizarin crimson. So that's, and then I'll be done. I added some color to the Skunk Man's suit, probably ill-advised, and then I went over it with a glaze, a very dark glaze, to tie it together. But still, I'm not too happy about it. I'm not ecstatic with it. I'm not in love. I have a new brush. This brush has been sitting by my front door all winter, all spring, and all this summer so far, waiting for me to bring it here to show you to paint with. It's nice and soft. You could apply makeup in your eyeballs with this. Whereas this brush, that I almost never use, is very stiff. You get splinters if you try to put makeup on with this. Now then, I finished up the Peg Leg Monkey. Peg Leg Monkey's all done. Slowly, I am spiraling out from the painting. And spots that need work are getting smaller and smaller, like this fist needs work. And then I'll have to go in black on the glasses again, make them stand out there. But first, let's start with this. Like I said, we're going to hit it with some alizarin and maybe some of this dark black color that I used for the suit. Oh, that's legs. Okay. I'm squirting white onto my palette right now. Oh! I'm totally screwing everything up. I'm just, because in my hurry to just get right down to business and my low energiness, I added some white. I'm going to add even more white. I'm going to do this. Okay. Okay, brother, we need to light off the affectations really quick, and I need to tell you what's going on. Give you a brief introduction. Welcome aboard to the Skrauss live painting with the Skrauss. You are probably watching this on Patreon. So far, I have no concurrent viewers. It says one, but I don't believe it. Now, then, affectations. Senor Guadalupe, thank you for embodying this candle, and always come to us and give us the messages from the underworld. I don't know exactly what you are for. Please tell us, Senora Guadalupe, the greatest of the apparitions of Mary. This is a red candle because Ishua Legua likes red and black. I got it because Saint Expedite likes red as well, but I don't think Saint Expedite and I are that friendly. I even took off my Saint Expedite medal that I was wearing around my neck. I had to take off all metal for the Nipi ceremony. Earrings, necklaces, gold fillings. This is where we are. And when it gets to here, we'll talk about current events. When it gets to here, we will not talk about anime. I haven't been watching any. When it gets here, I'll start wrapping it up. And we'll go from here because I'm just estimating. Welcome aboard, Team Cave Dweller. Here we are at Revision Gallery, live at Revision Gallery, Kenosha. It's a gallery / almost becoming a boutique. Recommend you come in here for all your artisan dyed dresses. Dresses that are dyed by an artisan person, not a machine spitting out prints. Team Cave Dweller, there's dresses for sale here. Each one is different. Each one is an individual. Similar to Disco Jesus. As you notice, Disco Jesus is an individual. Never the same twice. Always a different facet reflecting a different aspect of the universe. Thank you, Disco Jesus, for these blessings we are about to receive. May we be truly thankful. E pluribus unum. This is a painting of the Skunk Man. This looks like a mistake, but it's a leg to a chair. I was going to put the bottom of the chair under the tail like that, but I think what I'm going to do is just bring it out to here. Even though that doesn't make any sense. But you can't intuit where the corner of the chair of the couch is because you can't see any edge of it. And that's a problem. One thing I'm going to do is make it darker underneath the couch chair. But we'll start by working on this. One thing, oh my goodness, all my brushes are in the can. I'll be right back. Sorry, I would have been back sooner, except I was passed up a jar of peanut butter. I had to dip my fingers in it. Now, then, that looks like a mistake. That's the peg-leg monkey's eyeball. How will I differentiate that from... I'm going to make the wall darker. I should say I'm going to make the wall more vibrant behind that eyeball. It's funny how the wall dips down behind his hand like that. I love that. That's the kind of thing I love. I love it when things go wrong, but they work out. In some ways, that's a metaphor for all of life. I'll tell you about the book I started at the bottom of the hour. Not the hour you're looking at on your watch. I'm talking about this hour. The bottom of this hour. Put it on the hand so you can see it. I would, except the hand would fall over. Just be aware of this clock in the background when I'm not standing in front of it like this. Something has to happen in here. I like these three colors on the wall. This is why I needed this brush. I need to make floorboard lines. Very faint lines. I don't know why apparently there's some chair behind here. That's why it's green. It's a mistake. And one thing we learned from the Impressionists, which we should have learned from all painters really, is that there is often a non-literal color making up the literal color. They put things in dabs, and then it creates, through Gestalt, the literal color. That is way too prominent. I want it to recede. I'm trying to think of the best way to do that. This is a great brush for a glaze because it leaves no brush strokes, whereas this leaves brush strokes. And these, the white nylon, is in between. This is created to simulate natural sable fiber, but let's see what we got. What can I do to glaze? All I can think of is white. I don't want to put a glaze on at all, really, but I've got to do something to subdue it. And I don't want to add blue because that's too dark. I could add violet. Okay, ultramarine violet is. I love this mixture because it's so transparent, right out of the tube. Huh, it's not a mixture. It's a single pigment color. I love it even better now. Let's see what happens using the glaze brush with no magic sauce. Kind of makes it dirty. Not bad. Not bad. All right, I think that does it. Perfect. I was afraid it would get too streaky and too blue. But because it's violet, it's already less blue. And the red of the violet adheres to the red that's already in there, leaving the blue to subdue it. And the blue is, what, half price? I don't know. So that was a gamble that paid off. And now that room has receded. I'm going to put a light color right on the edge of that door, just so that we all know that's the edge of the door. Normally I would put woodwork around the edge of a door, but my apartment has no woodwork. Like I said last week, it used to be a communion wafer factory run by nuns. Nuns need no frills. I mean, have you looked at one? They have no frills. Okay. Yeah, I think that does it pretty well. Edges. Edges are the most important thing, whether they're pronounced or whether they're lost. Can make or break a painting. For instance, this is neither lost nor pronounced. The edge, bottom edge of this couch, it's just obscured and hidden, and it throws everything off. I'm going to bring the couch down. It doesn't matter if it breaks up space. If I want to break up space, I should be in control of the broken space, but in this case, that is, it shouldn't look like, well, I'm not going to say it should look purposeful, but it shouldn't look like, oh, he made a mistake there. Let's see if it does. Alright, well, there we have that. At least now you know what that thing is a leg. You have to make it longer. Now, I have to go underneath the whole thing with some of this, so that it looks, this is an example of a lost edge. We're not losing the edge, we're just sort of obscuring it. Oh, I love it. I love how the shadow goes this way and then straight that way. Score! And here it goes straight down. It's wonderful. It's wonderful when an accident comes together. Okay, so we are at the time of the hour where I talk about current events, and I'm not paying any attention to current events. I stopped caring about current events in 1984 when everybody was making fun of Ronald Reagan for no apparent reason, just because he was old. every comedian on every TV show, every cartoon, political cartoon in the newspaper, every time Reagan was mentioned, he was an idiot, he was a cowboy. Every time. Nobody ever talked about his policies or his politics or his decisions. Not that I would have paid attention, because I wasn't paying attention to anything in politics then. And I just thought, that's not fair. Just because he was an actor, you hate him? No, it's because he was not a liberal that they hated him. But that was the good old 80s, back when liberal and conservative meant something. Let's finish this up. That's it for current events. I'm not really paying attention. Everything seems to be opening up. They took the lines off the floor at Buzz Cafe here in Kenosha. You can now go inside and sit down and enjoy your cup of joe. The sneeze shield is still up to hilarious results, seeing as when you sneeze, particulates just go everywhere. I mean, they go everywhere. Fluid dynamics, people. You can't put a shield in front of wind. Have you ever stood behind a piece of glass when it's windy? The wind goes right around. Same with the sneeze. The banks are still closed even though everybody else is open. Government offices are closed even though everybody else is open. What does that make you think, Cave Dweller? I'm not saying there's a conspiracy. I'm just saying it's a planned terror attack. You are in terror, and our economy has been attacked. Things are changing. Is anybody in charge of this conspiracy, or is it just an accident? I don't know. But either way, things are changing. The results are the same. Terror has magnified. They shut the whole country down with fear. That's not the right thing to do. Fear is never the right thing to do. Let's ask Disco Jesus. Disco Jesus, is fear ever the right thing to do? I made my face like flint towards Jerusalem. And then I died there for you pansies. Wasn't expecting him to call us a pansy. Jesus. Alright, that's it for current events. This painting is done. Yeah, you heard me correctly. I'm going to put some gray in his glasses. Just because black is never black, especially when it's plastic. When black is plastic, it's highly reflective. So, let's make it look like that. Okay. That might be too much, but I can always go over it. Alright, I said that fist needs work, and it for sure does. It for sure does. It for does. So let's work it. I have a green dot up here that I don't like. I need to get rid of that, so I'm just going to hit with some white. Okay. Just to make it less prominent. I'd like it to go away, but where am I? I'm getting distracted, so I'm going to add some Prussian blue to the carpet to break it up a little bit. Is that awesome? I'm looking at the little picture that you're looking at. It looks better. Okay, well, that's all I'm going to really hope for is better. And I'm going to take care of that really quick. Looks like there's something behind there. What is that, I wonder? Nothing. It's nothing. I don't know what it is. Okay, so I got a mistake there. Time wounds all heals, and so does white. Let's try it. Let's cover it up. Alright, this color that I just mixed up is a much better selection because it's subdued. It's not as bright as Phthalo. yet it's light enough to stand out against the character in front. Alright, so there's that. And I am done! Finally, this painting is done. It is done. I'm sorry, I've been standing off camera most of the time. Let's see if we can do that. Does that help? No, it makes it worse. How about this? Does that help? Sort of. It sort of helps. Okay, so we're done. Huh. Look at that. I planned to finish it, but I didn't actually think I'd finish. And well under time today, Team Cave Dweller. Well under time. Why is that big piece of schmutz on there? Alright, let's put it down somewhere to dry. And I will show you this canvas. These are from a package of canvases that, see, this one has a hole in it. What we're going to do is we're going to fix up that hole very easily, very simply, using acrylic glazing, not glazing fluid, but acrylic gel medium. Just use gel medium. Take it on your spatula, or I mean your knife, and you just spatula it down. You can use a credit card. Fills in the hole. I'm not scraping it. I'm just letting it glide right over the top so it leaves a thick layer of medium. This does two things. This will seal up that hole, and it also provides a smooth surface to work on. Unfortunately, this smooth surface, I can't draw my image on it with chalk. Not that I have any here, which I don't. So I'll have to draw my image on it using fluid acrylic, using it like ink on a brush. This also has the added advantage of causing fluid on a brush to run. So when I do the drawing, it should slide all over the place, and it might give me a nice ruin porn type look, you know, like somebody did a drawing and then it got rained on, like Dick Van Dyke is dancing in a puddle. Here we are in Anthropocene, Team Cave Dweller. Never thought we'd see it. I actually don't believe it. So I guess I still don't think I'm seeing it. Things may get worse before they get better. Things may get better before they get worse. I saw a nice video. Somebody challenged Congress to vote themselves term limits. He called them out. He's like, the reason you don't vote for term limits is because you're the ones doing the voting. Everyone else wants it because you people suck. You're the poster children for incompetence. You keep voting yourself raises and no term limits. Congress is the definition of suck. You look suck up in the dictionary. It's got a picture of a Hoover vacuum cleaner, and then it's got a picture of J. Edgar Hoover in Congress, 1965. Sucking everything out of your wallet and giving it to whoever pays them the biggest cut. These people suck. It's a free country as long as your elected officials get 80% of your earnings. I'm reading a great book right now. It's called He Will Live in the Sky. It's by Christopher Knowles, the guy who wrote Our Gods Wear Spandex, whom Grant Morrison ripped off when he wrote his book. What was it called? His memoirs in the comic book industry. But this book is fiction. This book by Chris Knowles, He Will Live in the Sky, and it's basically X-Files meets the one sit-down comedian. What's his name? The Illuminatus trilogy. X-Files meets the Illuminatus trilogy. And I'm on page 50 or so, and so far it's a great, easy ride. I mean, it just moves along really well. Mr. Knowles has a story to tell. He's not worrying about poetry. Which is a trap, I think. It's a trap of the colleges, of the writing programs. They feed you on things like all the modernists and postmodernists who are doing crazy experiments, and then set you out into a world where nobody cares about the experiments because they're impenetrable. Who's ever read Remembrance of Things Past, Swan's Way? Who's ever read that? 2 people? It's an impenetrable book. You can't get through it unless you have super concentration, where you can just read and concentrate automatically no matter what's on the page. Tax code information or some kind of technical diagram without the pictures. I mean, if you can focus on that, go ahead, read Swan's Way, more power to you. Cheers. But most of us are not like that. Most of us don't want our prose mixed with poetry because you can't get through it. It's just, I'm not going to say dense because that implies that only smart people can get through it, only sharp people, but it's not, it's just too convoluted. Got to follow a sentence for a whole paragraph? I mean, my mind starts wandering. Get to the point. So that's what's been stifling me for my entire writing career. Desire to be... First I wanted to be the next C.S. Lewis, then I wanted to be the next James Joyce. Both were a mistake. I should have just been myself. Or better yet, the next Dr. Seuss without the rhyme. I'll just use a word theon of 30 words. I'll write my next story with 30 words. What should I put here? What should I put there? I don't know what to put there. When in doubt, go to the sources. Road and track. Look at this, that's a painting. I purchased this at a rummage sale because it's got illustrations. And the photos are actually cool. They're like of old gear. It's fun. But it's got illustrations and paintings. Right here, to illustrate the story, they did a painting. Printed it in 2 colors. It's great. I love it. See, there's another one in here that's really good too. I love this drawing. It's pretty good. So what are we going to do? What are we going to take? You know what? For a while I would try to do active imagination, and I had this friend who was a spider who took the form of a black guy with dreadlocks, Spike Lee style dreadlocks, and then I had a tiger who took the form of this kind of a car, type of convertible, but only had legs instead of wheels. So let's draw that. I'm looking for some changes in my life, some new startups, some new ideas, and it's time to start wrapping this up, so I'll see if I can put this in quickly. I want to use my liner brush, but I left it out and it touched some paint and got clouded. All right, I think that works. I think I got it out. right, how are we doing this? This is circle. Oh, I'm not going to have room for the whole car. Dang it, this happens all the time. Make these smaller. It's the convertible thing. Shh. The windshield is like a trapezoid triangle. Alright, put the little dreadlock guy here. They had bench seats back then. Bench seats were so much cooler. Bucket seats are uncomfortable and no fun. You could lay down in a bench seat. Alright, well there's that. I'm gonna wrap it up now. Okay, I'll put some color in for you. Of course, it's got to be tiger color, so that means this. Well, my yellow is dry. All right, that's fine. Can be dry. I'm going to use earth tone, yellow, ochre. I almost said oxide, but I had to double check. But it is yellow ochre, not yellow oxide. Oops. I got the idea for the car with tiger legs instead of wheels from a sign in Milwaukee. There was a sign for an auto shop. And I thought it was cool. Okay, so long, Senor Guadalupe. I don't know what good you did or why I bother. I don't know. I light candles for her at church all the time. Is she helping? I don't know. You should like, wow, open the gates in my heart so that I can see opportunity that's right before me. King Cave Dweller, every episode is more off than the one before it. Thanks for joining me.